Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Press Pass Live, your weekly OMFL podcast show, a chance to take a behind-the-scenes look at what is going on here in the OMFL, and we are so glad that you're tuned in to us today. As always, let me welcome in one of our best friends here, our buddy, the two-time OMFL Bowl champion, D-Wayne. How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show.
I'm good, Nate. I never get tired of hearing two-time champ. I just want to say that. No, it's a good day. It's turned from a rainy day this morning to sunny the rest of the day, and hey, it's been a good one. I'm glad to be here.
Speaking of champion, our buddy Hude is not with us today, but we did send off his trophy, so he should be getting his trophy here really soon. And I'm sure he says he's already got a spot picked out for it. He's super excited about getting that trophy, and so that'll be a nice thing. We'll get a picture up there. But let's jump right into it, man. There's so much to catch us up. I think the last time we were all together, there was not a whole lot to catch up. So let me plug the website really quick, grownfolksoc.com. Man, I love our website. It is really working out great. Thank you to all of you guys who are putting out new content. There's so much new content out there that things rarely stay on the front page for very long. So make sure you go there. We are starting the Grown Folks Wrestling League. Man, that is popping. The Grown Folks Golf Association is about to tee off with its first tournament. Both of those are 10 days in between cards or tournaments, so you got plenty of time. It's kind of a low commitment type of thing. Our FIFA team is still getting together. Man, lots and lots of activity, lots of new stuff going on, lots of new content that's dropping. If you are in the OMFL2 or the OMFL coach or on the FIFA team or in the golf league or in the wrestling league, man, please post content. I don't want our website to become so OMFL heavy that we never get to see any of the other content. So make sure that you post some stuff out there. But let's jump in there and talk about what we're here to talk about, and that is the OMFL. Let's talk about weeks 2 through 4. We just advanced to week 5, literally like an hour ago. So let's talk about week 2. We're going to go all the way back to week 2 because I think the last time we were all together, we just covered weeks 1 and we just kind of gave some predictions. So let's go all the way back to week 2. I'm going to start with you. Just give me one game that stuck out to you in week 2 that caught your eye.
Man, there was quite a few games. This one actually, looking over these today, I had a tough choice choosing one. If I had to go with one, it was the Bears playing the Bucks, and the Bears coming out with if I'm not mistaken, a 10. I said I had it written down. I think it's a 13 to 10.
Yep.
A defensive battle, and I hate to say I gauge, especially new members. He's a new guy. He hasn't been here very long, and I've known Maniac throughout this league, and I know what Maniac's about. And to see him come away with a 13 to 10 win was a real good way to gauge how well he is. And we've already talked about how good the Bears have started off the season, and that was just to me it was a playoff preview possibly. And it was just a real game that I wish I had seen in person. I have went back and watched some of it, but that game caught my eye.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the opposite end of the spectrum, and I've got to go with the 45-43 victory for your Atlanta Falcons. You talk about offense. This was actually our game of the week for week number 2. I did expect your Falcons to play that well with so much offensive firepower in this game. The Eagles really are the surprise to me here. I did not see them hanging 43 points on you, but man, their quarterback Hinkle really had a great day. 4 touchdowns, 270 yards, 15 of 22. Garoppolo did his very best to answer that, man. He was 17 for 21. That's spectacular. 2 touchdowns, 223. But Henry with 108 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. Irvin throws in another 49 and a touchdown. Both of these teams went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you were able to keep the Eagles at bay at home and win that game 45-43. One of those instant classic type of OMFL games. I don't know if you guys submitted that one, but man, that was a really good one and one that I'd like to go back and watch. Let's hop on over to week 3. I'm going to go ahead and I'll start us off with this one. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Bills versus the Colts. The Bills fall 26-30 against the Colts. Now, Colin has really been playing well over the last couple of seasons here, and really a little up and down, but more up. Very definitely trending up. He had a tough game against me, but man, he was able to get right back into it. He wins this game 30-26. Andrew Luck with 3 touchdowns, 337 yards. They picked off Lynch twice. Lynch has really struggled since hitting free agency and not really finding his way. Dorsett and Dwight both had over 100 yards. Dorsett almost had 200 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. So the Colts come away with a victory in week 3. That was the game that stuck out to me. What game stuck out to you?
I picked out a couple of them, and since we did just cover the Eagles playing this, because I had the Eagles and Seahawks. Win for the Eagles. Anytime playing Mo and beating Mo is a big win. The Cowboys and Giants really stuck out to me. To me, it was a battle for. To me, it's the two teams, and the Redskins could prove me wrong. Two teams that I have pegged as 1 and 2 in that division right now, and it's so deep with the Eagles dropping to 1 and 3. I think right now they have an uphill battle. But seeing the Cowboys come out and go 3-1 and take a hold of that division, and the Giants owner is no slack. I mean, he can play some ball. That was a big win for Big Hurt, and that game stuck out to me because that looked like the Big Hurt that we've known throughout this cycle. And it was good to see him get back on track.
Yeah, it's a really big victory for him, and one that we have not been super accustomed to seeing these last couple of seasons. Let's go over to week 4. What stuck out to you in week 4? Give me one game that really caught your attention.
Well, the one game, and I thought that this would be the game that might give Houday his first loss this season, was the Bengals versus Steelers. I mean, rivalry, in game, out of game, everywhere. I know that these two just go at it. You see them in the chat; they shoot back at each other all the time, saying something, all in fun, of course. But it was a big win for the Bengals because somebody finally slowed them down, held them to 20 points, and held the quarterback to 116 yards and 3 interceptions. He had 5 completions the whole game. He had almost more interceptions and completions. But Amy, the running back, who's averaging 9 yards a carry, 10 yards a carry this year, carried their team to victory. I'll take that back, 12 yards a carry this year. Just had a ridiculous game. Had 188 yards on 16 carries. He single-handedly carried the Bengals to win, and that was a big win for Houday because, like I said, that gives him some breathing room in that division. So now it's just him and the Ravens right now at the early part of the season, and that game's coming up pretty soon. So,
yeah, Amy really is the MVP of the league so far, and he's kind of running away with it. But Arnaud has been sort of the issue for the Bengals. If there is an issue, he has not played up to par so far this season. I'm going to go with the Jaguars and the Chargers. The Chargers hand the Jaguars. I can't talk today, man. It's a Sunday. I got to get it together here. They hand the Jaguars their first loss of the season. The Jaguars have been playing so well here. It was a classic Brady game, 13-10. The Chargers come away with it. A lot of quarterbacks played for the Jaguars for some reason. Robinson had a pass. Hoffman had 2 passes. Hill was 14 of 20. Lots of interceptions in this game, 4 interceptions total. But Mayberry really did the job for the Chargers. 16 carries, 109 yards. Cotton throws in another 4 receptions for 104 yards. So lots of playmakers here, but a defensive battle. Chargers at home come away with a 3-point victory in week number 4, and that was the game that really stuck out to me as a game that caught my attention in week number 4. And that catches us up, excuse me, of where we are right now. We're sitting in week number 5. Guys are itching to play. I know the Bears are breathing down my neck, man. He really, really wants to play. It's going to happen, I promise. I know that you're itching. So let's talk about a couple of things that have caught my eye this season. It's early still, but there are some trends that have kind of stuck their way out here that I want to talk about here. And that is the first one on the deck, the Baltimore Ravens leading the AFC North at 4-0. And I want to ask you, they are very quietly having a great season, but what have been the keys to their success so far this season?
well, it's funny because you got, we'll go to the next team next, but the defense speaks volumes for the Ravens. Now, my stats might be a little off. I did most of my homework this morning, and I know there's been a few games played, but the Ravens' defense as of this morning were, we'll go right now, 4th in points, 6th in rushing. Their defense really leads the way, and that's pretty much what's won them so far. Got them to 4-0. They ain't had really any easy games. I mean, they played the Packers, Steelers, Lions, and and the Browns with Outlaw, and Outlaw, you can't sleep on him. That's 4 games that they really made a statement. At 14 points a game, you're holding people to 2 touchdowns. You're going to win a lot of games. But defense speaks volumes. And one thing that really stuck out to me, and I preach it because I tell people all the time, when I throw interceptions, I get sick. He's only had 2 as of well, that changed. He has 3 turnovers all season. 4 games, he has 3 turnovers. And when you don't turn the ball over, man, it's hard to beat. If you can't make somebody turn the ball over, and they're shutting you down on offense, you're not going to win many games, and that's why he's 4-0. He's holding people to good defensively, and he's not giving them the ball short in the field for them to score the ball, and that's a recipe for success.
Yeah, I mean, you're sitting at 4-0. This is one of those teams that I really they make me nervous, and here's why. A couple of things. First, you beat the Packers, but they're sitting at 0-3. You beat the Steelers, they're 2-2. You beat the Lions, they're at 1-3, and you beat the Browns at 1-3. So literally, the teams that you have beat have a combined 4 wins 4 weeks deep into the season. There's option number one that kind of makes me nervous. Plus, you're 83 overall. So he took over this team. Not a lot of talent. A lot of guys have had their hands on this team, but no one has really stuck it out to really build them. But you're sitting at 83 overall. Here are the other things that make me nervous. You're 18th in points on offense. You're 21st in yards, 20th in passing, 16th in rush. But the reason that they are winning. Oh, let's talk about their quarterback. You mentioned him. Fetty, I think is his name. I want to say he's either a rookie or I think he's a second-year player. I think he was maybe a rookie last year. 66%, so he's super efficient. He's not having to throw the ball a lot, only 95 attempts. He's only got 818 yards, 3 touchdowns, but he's only taken 2 sacks, and he's only turned the ball over three times with the 3 interceptions. The rushing game makes me a little nervous. No one's shining there. Ty Gurley's averaging 4.3. Stanford is averaging 5.8. Those numbers are really good, but both of those guys are under 300 yards. And your leading guy is Brad Pitta at the tight end position. Brady Pitta, right? Is he a tight end? I want to say. Maybe not. Maybe I'm getting him confused. So that makes me a little nervous too, just because I don't like seeing tight ends lead their team by a whole lot in receptions, and he's got 21. And so that's a whole lot. And so those things make me nervous, but here is why he is winning, and you hit it on the head. It's like he went to the D. Wayne school of how to win games in the OMFL. He stops people's run, and he causes them to turn the ball over. 6th in rushing, 4th in points. So he's keeping guys from scoring. He's keeping them from running. They're having to pass the ball a lot. And look at this. He's got 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17 sacks on the season. 4 weeks deep, his team has 17 sacks on the season. It's unbelievable. He's got a ton of forced fumbles in there. A ton of guys are getting their hands on picks. So that is why this team is winning. It is because they're efficient on offense. They're probably eating the clock up. They're stopping people's run. They're forcing them to pass. And that is causing them to catch a whole lot of turnovers and get the ball right back into their offense's hands. So that is the Baltimore Ravens, man, and they are really one of those teams that are shocking people right now, sitting at 4-0 atop the AFC North, and AFC is going to have to take notice. Now, we'll see long-term where that team's going to fall. The Bengals are really still, in my opinion, the team to beat there, but the Ravens are right there, man. They're hanging in there, and they are still one of those teams. Let me ask you this. Let's talk about another team that has caught our eye that we talked a little bit about last week. The Bears, man, they are shocking teams in the NFC, but a lot like these Baltimore Ravens, do they have the talent to make a real run to the playoffs this season?
Well, comparing them to the Ravens, is their defense is even better than the Ravens' defense. Ranked second in defensive scoring, 12 points a game, 4th total yards, 9th in passing, and they're holding opponents to 50 yards rushing a game, and that's a recipe for success. What worries me is kind of like the Ravens. Honestly, these are almost mirror images of each other. Is offensively they're struggling, defensively if they can ever match their offense or their defense, I mean we might it'd be scary. What gets me is they create turnovers. That's why they're winning a lot of games. They've created 10 interceptions. They have 1 fumble recovery, and they have 16 sacks. And when you're putting pressure on people like that, You're making them throw interceptions, and your defense is not letting them run the ball, so they got to throw it. And when you're making people do that, I mean, you're talking about that's just a perfect recipe to win. I firmly believe in defense wins championships. And if you can have a good defense, and if these two guys can just take their offenses up just one more notch, you might see these guys make a deep playoff run.
Defense may, excuse me, win championships, but offense makes the panties drop, and the panties are staying securely tight to the Bears' waistline right now because they have absolutely no offense. Look, this team really is on a roll right now, and I have to play them this week, so I'm going to keep my comments to a minimum. But you said it all right on the top of the head. You said defense, defense, defense. They have a ton of turnovers. Look, their rookie quarterback probably is not going to win Rookie of the Year this year, but he is not playing bad. 63.4 completion percentage, 6 touchdowns, does have 5 interceptions, does have 8 sacks on the season. They have a decent running game with David Johnson and Wharton. So both of those guys are getting carries, just not finding the end zone a lot. Only 1 touchdown from them combined. But again, lots of interceptions. Here is where the Bears are going to have to prove themselves is, can you win with just defense in this league? I don't think that you can. I think that you can get into the playoffs with just defense. The Ziploc, who just joined the golf league again, and hopefully he'll be back in the OMFL and Madden 18, I think he proved that you can win with just the defense. But we have yet to see just defense only make a deep run
Right.
into the playoffs. You have to tie that in with something else. And right now, this Bears team really doesn't have that other thing to tie it into. I mean, your rushing game is not bad, but you're only 14th in the league. If you're going to go defense only, then that rushing game's got to be top 5. Now, if you put a top 5 rushing attack with a top 5 defense, now you got something to play with. But you're 20th in passes, so even 25th in points, I should say. So even with all those turnovers, you're not turning those into points. You don't have a rushing game to eat the clock. The passing game is in the bottom 3 of the league. So there's a lot of issues there for the Bears, but you got to give it to them. With a very minimal lack of talent on this team, he is figuring out a way to pick up victories.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure he's going to make me eat all of my words this week whenever I play him, because my Cardinals and me are not playing well at all. Let's talk about another one of my teams, though, that has really been one of my favorite teams, one of the teams I've been wanting to talk about for seasons now, and he just can't quite get over that hump. It's like 2 steps forward, 4 steps back for him these last couple of seasons. But Marcus Mariota is leading the Titans to a really nice start here. What does this team have to do, in your opinion, to make a real run at the playoffs this season?
Well, he's on the right track, and like I said, I really like the Titans. I really like him as owner. He's kind of stayed in the hunt in that real tough division every year. He just can't quite make it over the hump. And one reason he's got to cut down his turnovers. So far this season, he's got 10 turnovers to only 5 takeaways. And when you're on the wrong side of that turnover margin, it's not good. And 10 turnovers through 4 games, you could probably live with that if you're creating turnovers yourself. Like Mariota, he's got 7 interceptions through 4 games. I would like to see him cut that down because every other stat is really not bad for Mariota. You just got to cut down those turnovers and the interceptions. The defense has got to get better for him. I mean, like I said, in retrospect, we were just talking about defense wins championships. That you need some offense to help. You're not going to go nowhere if you're allowing 28 points a game. You cannot live with allowing 28 points a game, and you're ranked in the bottom quarter of the league in every defensive stat. You got to get that. And I've played him. I play him for some reason. Me and him play each other every preseason. And his defense is a juggernaut against me. I don't know what happens when he gets the regular season, but his defense gives me fits every year. If he can get that defense turned around, he'll have a real chance to make that leap this year. And also, he's got to give Darius Jackson the ball. So far, he's only getting 14 touches a game, and that's not counting his 1 reception he has this year, or 2 receptions. Take that back. 2 receptions he has this year. Getting 14 touches a game. When he gets the ball, he's averaging 7.6 yards a carry or a touch. He's got 5 touchdowns. Man, give the man the rock. Give him, worst case, if you can't run the ball with him anymore, throw a few passes to him in the passing game. Don't get crazy with it, but give him a few passes. Man, that guy's fast. He's averaging 16 yards a catch on his 2 catches. Let him get the ball in the open field. Let him take some pressure off Mariota so you don't have to force those passes. And the last thing I have for him is he's got to stay healthy. Last couple seasons, he's had Darius Jackson, with that maybe that's why I don't run him as much, has been hurt. I think Mariota got hurt a season or two ago, and he needs to keep Nate Foley healthy. If he can keep those three healthy, then he can really make the jump into, if not winning the division, because he has Colin, he has Brady, and I think the new Houston owner, he has him in there, and Massimo's out of the picture. But that's still, you still got 3 to 4 solid teams in that division. He's going to need them guys to stay healthy to make that leap.
100% agree with you. This is the opposite end of the spectrum from the first 2 teams that we spoke about. This team is going to have to figure out the defense. They're going to have to get some things fixed on that end of the ball if they're going to compete long term. But here's some stats that kind of stuck out to me. 2017, Mariota finished with a 107.9 rating. 2018, 95.2. 19, 88.0. 2020, 84.2. I don't know if you noticed the trend here,
Right.
But it's not looking good. It's definitely going way downhill. I mean, you had 18 sacks in 17, 26 in 18, 32 in 19, 26 last year. You had 15 interceptions, 26, 21, 27. So those numbers are not good. I think as Mariota goes, so goes this team. Yes, the defense is going to have to figure out some things. They're going to fix some things on that side of the ball if they're going to compete long term. But if Mariota can keep the interceptions down and he can figure out a way to continue to eat that clock, use his legs, use all the playmaking ability that he has, then this team really can turn things around. I think as Mariota plays, so goes this team. Let's look at the first couple of games. Against Oakland, 70% completion percentage. Loses against Jacksonville, he passes for under 60. Loses a tight one against San Francisco, 17-28, but he passes over 30%. The problem with that game is he had 3 sacks. The 2 games before that, Oakland and Tennessee, he's got 7 interceptions. So the last 2 games, no interceptions, 3 touchdowns, and he only gave up 1 sack against New England. Here is where Tennessee never gets over that hump. They big win against Oakland week 1. Then you drop against a tough team against Jacksonville, 24-37. Then you lay an egg against San Francisco, 28-17. But then you come right back and you beat New England, which is still a very good team in the AFC. So that up and down roller coaster continues to go. But I think you can tag that in with exactly what Mariota's doing. 80 rating in week 1, 66 rating in week 2, 118 in week 3, and 114 last week. He's got a bye week this week. If he can work on that defense a little bit, if Mariota can stop himself from turning that ball over, this team actually has a chance to turn things around, and I'm really pulling for them. So let's keep talking about quarterbacks. Quarterbacks seem to be the theme of today's show. There was a quarterback that I mentioned last week over in Los Angeles with the Los Angeles Rams named Jared Goff. So my question to you is Jared Goff a serious MVP candidate in season 73?
Well, you got a few reasons yes, and you got a few reasons no. I don't want to say the no ones first. Got to cut down interceptions, just like Mariota, 7 interceptions in the first 4 games. It's very, especially for the last few seasons, I think Dawson really got the point. Well, last season, he went from 26 picks in 2019 to 9 interceptions all season last year, and he's already at 7 this year. So he just needs to go back to making those safe, not forcing, rely on the run game, let them help Goff cut the turnovers down. And as long as he keeps winning, Goff's going to be in the picture. And I think Dawson's 3-1 as long as he keeps winning, because he picked me apart. Him and what I like to call, Dakota, I haven't trademarked this name since it's already trademarked in real life. I call it the Triple H Dawson has. Hopkins, Hawker, and Henry. You got 2 receivers and a tight end who are just phenomenal. 300, almost 400 yards for Hopkins, 300 yards for Hawker, and 200 yards for Henry. And Hawker really took a step up. He was a top 10 pick a few years ago. He really took a step up this year on Dawson's team. And if Goff uses those 3 and cuts down his turnovers, the numbers can be gaudy from Goff because he's got so many weapons. If Dawson can just get back his running game and rank 13th league, if he can get that rushing game up maybe 15, 20 yards more a game, I think the production he gets from Goff, less turnovers, and he would be a lot more efficient with him, even though he is throwing 71% for the season so far. he just cuts down those interceptions, which I think the rushing game will help, and using Triple H, man, they could be scary.
Yeah, I've got to say, I do not think he's an MVP candidate. And here's the frustrating thing about him. I mean, he's at 71% completion percentage. He's got over 1,000 yards already 4 weeks into the season. But you scrape by the San Francisco 49ers, a 3-point victory there, 3-point victory against Houston the next week, a 2-point victory, or loss, I should say, I'm sorry, against you the week after that, and then barely a 9-point victory over Minnesota last week. So that up and down ride for him has kind of continued here, and I think you've said it all exactly correct. That's the frustrating thing about him with this defense, which is a top 3 defense in the league, hands down. Anyone should be able to come in and play quarterback for this team, play it efficiently, and win. Like you said, just hand the ball to the running back, hit the tight end, hit the running backs in the flat, find some routes for your receivers, be efficient with the ball, and don't turn it over. You don't have to be a hero to win with this team. But let's look at some stats here. An 87.7 rating in 2017. Then it goes up to 96, drops all the way down to 66. That's that year where things just went tanked for him really bad. Then 114 last year, and he's at 98.4 this year. 6 touchdowns is great. Over 1,000 yards, awesome. 71% completion, amazing. But 6 sacks and 7 interceptions on the season. He's turning the ball over way too much, and we don't have access to these stats, but I'm sure with those sacks and with all those interceptions, I'm sure he's given the ball up on some fumbles at least a couple of times, because when you see those high sack numbers and those high interception numbers, that means he's trying to get rid of the ball as he's being sacked, and those usually lead to a couple of fumbles within a season. But again, with this team, you don't have to play spectacular. And I've seen this quarterback come out and play very efficiently, and that makes this team so hard to beat, because that defense is absolutely amazing and really hands down hard to beat, and will be a top power here in the NFC again this season. So that is a look at weeks 2 through 4 here in the OMFL. One last segment here before we call it a night, and that is our Outside the League segment. And I wanted to kind of introduce something we've been doing for a couple of weeks now. I started several months ago doing a CFM Roundtable podcast with just different guys from the community that wanted to come on and talk CFM Roundtable. The last one that we did, I think a week ago, was about Shopmaster going to EA Play and seeing Madden 18 and coming back, and we're just talking and having that discussion. So I want to toss this out to you. Have you been able to listen to those podcasts? And if so, what are your overall thoughts about what you're hearing? What are some questions maybe that you would like to ask yourself? Or what are some topics that you think that we should discuss whenever we get those guys back together again?
Well, I listened to it live last week, and I listened to it again today, just to kind of refresh myself on it. A lot of the stuff I heard was good. Now, I'm going to lie to you, I've heard some stuff that does worry me. One thing that worried me was, if I don't know, I think it was Shopmaster who was talking about the same people that are working with Madden were taking a lot of resources and taking to NBA Live. Am I correct?
Yeah.
And that worries me a little bit. I don't know why they're worried about NBA Live. I don't want to knock EA if they're listening, but I think 2K took that reins right now. I wish they would just stick to worrying about Madden. But like I said, a lot of it, just listening to them talking about putting no money in the mutt and putting money in the money things, or putting their time and money into the money aspects of it. I wish they would dedicate a little more time to the coach mode version of it, or the franchise mode. A lot of the tweaks and stuff, I'm not gonna lie, I like to hear it, about how you can handle. If I'm not mistaken, he said be able to run conservatively and run aggressively. I loved hearing that, because I will say for me in Dawson's game, he was trying to run the clock. If he could have ran conservatively, I know we have a protect the ball button. I don't even know if that has any effect over the hit stick nowadays, because the hit stick is so overpowered. But me trying to get the ball back, I was hit sticking, trying to get the ball back so I could win. And he's running the ball out. If he could have had a conservative option where he just goes nothing but run the ball, hold the ball, I made him fumble it, kick field goal, beat him to win the game. But I did like hearing that, because that to me, that's a lot more realistic. I did love hearing that. But if there's some things I could ask him, I would love to hear how they're going to intricate, I guess, you more powers as a commissioner of control and stuff. Kind of like he said when they accidentally advanced 2 weeks. I don't know if I've had that. We've had that happen here since
Oh
I've been in this
yeah,
Madden.
season one we accidentally did it.
Season one.
It was like we advanced from week 1 to week 3. It was a disaster. It was not fun.
Well, like that. If you give you more powers, and like I said, I think he was talking about he didn't think that that they would actually do that. He said it was more of a wish list thing, but it is something I would love to see have more powers. You can go back or you can um, fix mistakes. It's real easy to advance 2 weeks. I was so scared when I got the first powers to be able to advance that I was going to do that. Um, and I still am. Every time I think I double check it 3 or 4 times before I advance to make sure I'm not going to do something crazy. Um, but there's a lot of things I would like to add that probably aren't realistic per se, because Madden seems like they have their mind made up on the stuff they want to add and what they don't want to add. I do like the fact that they're going to put a lot of time and effort towards the gameplay itself. I think the franchise, because the gameplay itself, from what I've played Madden for like the last 4 or 5 years, easy, every Madden a lot. And like I said, this Madden was the best Madden to me, gameplay wise, and it sounds like they're even trying to build upon that more. And we're bringing and the name slips my mind. The engine FIFA uses it slipped my mind when I tried to say it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
we're bringing that over, and I think that's just going to make it even better. But it is if y'all don't get to listen to that, y'all ought to just spend a little bit of time listening to them guys. Especially, like I said, he sounds like he's pretty pretty big, or at least pretty into it with EA. If they'll fly him out to that thing, you get to hear a lot of insight. I wish that I could tell you, more suggestions, but I'm telling you, you and Shotmaster and I can't remember the other guy's name. I know y'all crack jokes on one of them because he does no social media at
Yeah,
all.
Logan.
But them guys, man, they know what they're talking about. And if y'all get a chance, y'all ought to listen to these guys talk about Madden, because I learn stuff every time I listen to it that I don't know, because I am not the Madden guru. I'm learning more and more every day, and these four have more knowledge about it than I've ever heard. But there's a lot. I mean, just everything they talked about in general. A lot of it we have, as a league and as a board, have talked about. We would love to see it here. But it was just an interesting thing, and y'all ought to listen to it if y'all get a chance.
Yeah, it's been fun to do. I enjoy producing content for the community, and we have so many good guys here like yourself, and so many great owners that put out so much content. Anything that I can do that even gets people to look our way, I want to make sure that I'm a part of it. And we've been around the longest than anyone as a league, at least, and because of that, I think that it's important that we're involved in the community for a good positive push. So, yeah, we should have another one here in another week or so. Well, we'll dive a little bit deeper into the new content that's coming out for Madden 18. Again, I'm a big Madden 17 fan. I'm very optimistic that 18 will continue to build on the strong things that we had in Madden 17. So I'm a big fan. I can't wait to get my hands on the game,
Mm-hmm.
see exactly what it's going to be like. And again, I posted this on Twitter the other day to see feedback from the community, but I think at the end of the day, I don't do this because Madden is such just an amazing, amazing game that I can't wait to play. I do this because of the relationships and the guys, like the guys who listen here today. Kevin and Pepper called in for a little bit, and you're always on here. And Hude, like there's so many. I love all of our owners, and especially now that we're growing as a community, which sometimes I think it's getting like out of my hands. Like it's so big and I'm so involved. I need guys to step up and help me. Like Maniac took over OMFL coach. OMFL 2, Chaotic and his board taking over OMFL coach. Mo helping me with Grown Folks Golf Association, trying to find somebody to help me with the wrestling. You and Hude help me out. The whole board really helps me out so much here in the OMFL. Like we have so many good guys, but the community as a whole is really, really growing, and the future's bright. And I can't wait. We're gonna have to make another push here for platinum status because we could use some money, especially if we're going to revamp the way that we do our pages, our Daddy League pages. That's going to cost some money, and funds are a little low. So as soon as the game drops out in here in the next couple of weeks, we'll definitely make a push for that and get guys to do that. Before we wrap things up here, give me your closing thoughts on weeks 2 through 4 here in the OMFL.
It's been it's been interesting seeing some of these new guys come in and seeing the interest is to me is pretty high. Like I said, I just listened to y'all talk about how a lot of end of cycles happen. It hasn't completely hit here. You have a few guys that have been MIA here and there. But for the most part, man, you got like the Bears owner, man, he is so pumped to play you, Nate. I'm going to have to tune into that game to watch it. You got guys that, man, we still got guys. I bet you next 24 hours you'll have 10 to 10 11 games played. But it's been real nice. It's been real good. The interest is still super high, and I think that's going to be so great because it's going to carry over Madden 18. Because when I first came to Madden 18, everybody was so crazy pumped. I mean, Madden 17 so crazy pumped. We were just fixing to start the season off, and I think it's going to be even better with the carryover we got from 17 to 18. We got a good group of guys, a great group of guys. And I think it's going to carry over, and I think it's just really exciting to finish this last season off. I know everybody's ready for 18, but it'd be real interesting to see who can pull off this last championship of Madden 17.
Yep, 100% agree with you. Things are going really well for us right now. The commitment and activity is super high. Of course, the summer always takes a few people away from time to time, but overall, things have been going really, really, really well. And I have no complaints. Overall, the gameplay has been really good. There's been a few minor issues that we got to work on. You always have that in the very last season. Guys start to get a little lenient with some stuff. Guys complain less just because it's the last one, and they just don't want to cause too many waves. But overall, things are going extremely well. Let me plug the website again, grownfolksoc.com. Please create content that goes toward your incentive program. You get awarded for all of the content that you create. And our website just looks spectacular. I could not be prouder of it. I just cannot wait till Madden 18 drops. We get the funds that we can really integrate our OMFL, OMFL Coach, OMFL 2 Daddy League pages into the website to where it flawlessly all looks like one page and all works together. So that is on the cusp of happening. I love the new forums. They're not perfect, but man, they're all integrated. They work really, really nice. Lots and lots and lots of good stuff on there. Follow us on Twitter, Grown Folks OC on Twitter. You can also find us on YouTube, Grown Folks Online Community, and then Grown Folks OC on Twitter. Give us a follow, give us a like, subscribe, share everything that we're pushing out there. The more content, the more eyes, the better things are for us. And I'm going to make another plug. If you are into golf and you've got a little extra spare cash, go pick up Golf Club 2. The game is spectacular. I cannot brag on this game enough. The graphics are amazing. Yes, the human graphics need some work, but outside of the human graphics, everything else is amazing. The game is single-handedly the most realistic game I've ever placed my hands on. It's like you're playing real-life golf. Golf Club 2, we play the Grown Folks Golf Association with that. We have a society online. It's all online. It's super, super nice. That's going to be teeing off here in the next week as guys get the game, get acclimated to playing it, and start signing up for the society. Also, I have left the OCW, which was a WWE 2K eFed that I was a part of. They are amazing. They've got lots of great stuff. They've been going for 12 plus years, but I just wanted to do our own thing here. I want to have our own thing here. Super laid back, 10-day advances in between things, so you got plenty of time to do your matches. The matches usually take 15 to 25 minutes, and so lots of fun stuff. Grown Folks Wrestling, Grown Folks Golf Association. If you have FIFA, make sure you join our team, Grown Folks Football Club. And then OMFL, OMFL Coach, OMFL 2 is growing daily. OMFL 2 is going to be full before we know it. We're going to have 32 owner leagues all across the board. Lots of really great stuff. So for Hude, who couldn't join us today, for D-Wayne, my two co-hosts, and all the OMFL board, thank you guys so much for listening to us today. We're going to pump out a game of the week here and next, get that out to you for week number 5. Lots of good stuff going on. Make sure that you're plugged in, giving us a follow. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Second.